Dr. Carroll, you've said in prior talks that in the laws of physics that we observe today, there's no room for free will. I'd like to know, I grant that I consider you to be a rational, critical thinker. So how do you reconcile critical thinking if at the same time you believe you don't have the free will to choose between true and false premises and valid and invalid logic? If those choices are made for you, how is anything anybody says not immediately irrational?
I know I'm in trouble when someone says, I consider you to be a rational thinker before they ask me the question. So I think I'm not exactly sure what you read. I think if you read carefully, I believe in free will. I'm pro free will. I think that free will is an emergent concept in a universe which at the fundamental level is completely mechanistic. I think there are laws of physics that do not involve what we call a libertarian approach to free will. I do not think that human beings supersede the laws of physics. I think that human beings are collections of elementary particles interacting according to the laws of physics. And if I was able to write down every single particle in my body and I had a Laplace's demon level of computational ability, I could predict what I would do. But I don't have any of that. I don't have the information, the microstate of my quantum mechanical wave function. And therefore, the vocabulary I use to describe myself is as a human being making choices according to rational principles. And I think that it is absolutely legitimate in that framework to say free will is real. It is the most I ever wrote on free will was a short blog post called "Free Will is as Real as Baseball." Baseball is nowhere to be found in the fundamental laws of physics. It is a description at a collective level of things that happen in the macroscopic world. That doesn't mean that baseball doesn't exist. It just means it's not there in the fundamental laws. I would say that free will is exactly the same way. So I think there's nothing wrong with using the language of people making choices, people being correct or incorrect.
Well, it seems to me that on your view, free will is ultimately illusory because everything we do is determined by what goes on the fundamental level. And therefore, even though I have the illusion of free will, if I could really understand it, I would see that in fact I'm determined to do everything that I do, including believing in determinism, which makes my choice to believe in determinism, it seems to me, irrational, or irrational, I should say. I'm simply determined to believe in determinism. So I don't think it's helpful to talk about free will as an emergent reality when at a fundamental level you're affirming determinism. Then it's freedom only in name and not in reality. And in that case, I think the questioner is right. It's very difficult to see how anything I do is rational. It's just like a tree growing a branch. It's all determined by mindless forces.